Hi guys, good afternoon. This is Virginia. You're watching Creation Here. How is everyone today? Well, here I'm in Maryland. I'm in the Maryland region, and it's a mess out there. Yeah, it's a storm. It's very icy, very nasty. If you don't have to go out, don't. But anywho, I just wanted to talk for a moment. So, you guys know this channel is really just about, my experiences and how I relate to things. And, if anyone else relates to them, fantastic. If, you guys can take away something from it, great. And if you guys can help me, that's also an A+, okay? So today, we are going to talk about triggers, right? Like everybody has triggers, right? We have all been through something, and to go through it again, or some people's triggers, can be an object, a person, a feeling, whatever the situation, right? So I want to talk about triggers today because I was triggered today. And I was just really trying to understand, why am I still being triggered by this person, right? Because I'm like, what do I need to learn from this? And mind you, the relationship with this person, it was a romantic relationship that I had with this person from 2008 to 2013 in an actual relationship. But the relationship still went until about 2015 in a complicated state at that point, right? So I actually severed real ties with that person in early 2015. So that was about 7 years of whatever, right? Anywho, I had 4 children with this person, okay? And I've gotten so many things where they must have been on something, right? You have 4 kids with them, or this is people are well, you didn't learn after the first one, or you didn't. I am not afraid to speak about myself, right? Because if we don't own our truth, who will, right? We can't go through this world lying to ourselves and lying to other people. And I'll be the first to tell someone, people don't understand. I was 18 when I met that person. I was very impressionable. I had been through a lot in my 18 years before meeting this person. I had been in foster care for a lot of years, from the time I was 13 to 21. I had been abused. I had been molested. I had been neglected. I've been through a lot of trauma. So as an 18-year-old person, and I have made a really defined decision about not going to college. And I think that really changed the course of what I wanted for myself. And it actually lowered my self-esteem even more. I had very, very low self-esteem at that point. I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust anyone really. And I didn't trust myself to make good decisions. I'm just learning to trust myself, to trust how I feel and what I feel, right? And so I'm 31 now. And like I said, I've been through a lot of trauma, right, growing up. And this person, for some odd reason, he still bothers my spirits. I mean, the anxiety I feel when I see his name pop across my phone screen. It's unreal. It's like, why? There's nothing there romantically for me. I don't want to be with him. There's no feeling romantically there for me, for this person at all. We share 4 children, and people say, well, that's a lot, and when you're an unevolved person, and I am what you would call an HSP. So I'm very highly sensitive, right? So I'm very sensitive and I'm very empathetic. And so I feel bad a lot of the times for other people. And I want to fix people, or I want to be there for people. And I think that's what caused me to stay even longer than I should have, right? Throughout the situation, or giving more chances. Also, me being unevolved, not having clear boundary lines, not respecting myself, not trusting myself. All of these things play a big part. And I know that our relationships are mirrors, they're mirrors of what we're feeling inside, of how we're reacting, or whatever the situation. And I know that we need to learn from them. And so I say to myself today, he called me about some other things, right? And I got upset, right? Even though I know that I'm correct in the situation, or whatever situation. And I know that I'm doing everything correctly, that I didn't do anything wrong. And, but some reason, this person was still able to trigger me. I was very upset for a moment. I'm like, my anxiety was through the roof. And I'm like, then I said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to just react. Why am I feeling this way? What is it that I am not taking away from this back and forth with this particular person? What is it that I need to learn? I have to learn something. There's something I'm not understanding. There's something that's just not registering to me. There's something there that I need to take away from this situation. That I need to look at myself, right? Like there's something. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, what is it? I for the love of me, can't understand. I can't even rationalize what it is in my mind that I need to be learning from this person or this situation. And I'm like, I have to make a video, because these videos help me. They help me talk it out, even though there's no one else around. They help me to listen to myself out loud and not feel crazy. Yes. So I'll give the situation. It's really not that deep. Like I said, we have 4 children together. And last year, I allowed for him to claim her because I didn't work. So it really wasn't a big deal. I allowed him to claim one of my children. So I'm like, he said he wanted to help pay down some of the child support, whatever situation. And at first he was trying to make it like, oh, this helps you. It really doesn't help me, because right now, I lost my job almost going on 2 years now. And with all of my complications, health-wise, I have not found a job since then. About 2 years I haven't worked. And so I lost my job. And then I have all these mental health, things going on. I got really, really depressed. My anxiety went through the roof. And then this year, finding out I had cancer. So it just kind of puts a stop on working for me, right? So I'm getting some assistance. I'm not ashamed about that, and I'm getting some, and because I'm saying it because I was at one point ashamed of that. Because in my mind, it's like I should be able to take care of myself and my family, right? And I should not be sick. I should not have these mental disabilities. These things so many years, I've been technically, you want to call it disabled, for a lot of years mentally. And I would never acknowledge that. I was like, no, there's nothing wrong with me. I'll get over it. I'll get through it. This is mind based. I have to get through this, right? And then there's still those times where I can't, or it really takes me outside of myself. And it's like, I just don't have the energy. I cannot do it, right? And so I got real with myself. I said, this is a real thing. This really impacts my life. It impacts the quality of my life. Having panic attacks and having severe anxiety and severe depression, it really impacts the quality of my life. It stops me from enjoying things. It stops me from doing things, because my mind will tell me you can't do those things. You're not you don't have the credentials, or you're not smart enough. And it really stops me from living. And sorry, I didn't mean to tear up, but thinking about the impact that the mental disabilities have had on my life, on my relationships with people, not just romantically, just general friendships, general connections that I could not make because of a mental disability. It really impacted me, and I had to get real with myself. I said, this impacts you. It stops you from living. You're not living. You're merely existing in this plane of going through the motions of making sure your kids are right, making sure they're clothed and fed and in school and all those general basic needs. But I was doing nothing really above those needs, if we're going to get real and honest. I was lacking monetary funding. I didn't have the money to... Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is not what I meant to do. I didn't mean to take it in, but I'm gonna let it go where it goes, okay? This is my life, my truth, and it is what it is. And I was like, I would tell myself, I don't have the money, right? Every year I'd say, well, next year I'll do better. Next year I'll have more money, or, hopefully next year will be better, and I'm, by the time I looked up, my daughter is like going on 12 this year. And I'm like, what the hell happened? I kept saying every year, next year will be better. And every year it did get maybe a minuscule of progress. I got a little better. The most progress I made has been from 2020 to now. Like, I've made a significant amount of progress in my life. And not just, like as far as money, but just in myself. And I think that is what's important, right? So, anyhow, I was real with myself. I said, this depression, this mental disability is really hindering me, and I need help. And I had been in therapy with a great, wonderful therapist. My therapist is amazing, okay? I love her. She's like an extension of myself. Like, I don't know what I'd do without her. And, we get so hung up on therapy and, it doesn't work, or you're crazy if you're doing that. And it's crazy that it's 2021 and there are still people who think this way, right? No, therapy is very beneficial. Therapy saved my life. I met my therapist in 2015, and we have been rocking ever since, and I can't see me leaving her. I'm still technically supposed to be in therapy twice a week. It has lessened. I go about once a week because I feel good. I'm not so depressed all the time. I'm working on things. I still get depressed. I still have those feelings. But I know now, like, I'm able to better understand. I'm trying to understand them, right? Before I wasn't understanding. I'm just like, I don't want to feel this. I hate this feeling. Oh my God, why is this? Why is this me? Oh my God, why is my life always so fucked up? These are the things I would say, until one day I just stopped. And I say, you know what? Be real. Something is wrong. And it's nothing to be ashamed about. You have endured a lot of things, Regina. Like, sweetheart, you have gotten through a lot of shit. I'm so proud of you for that, right? Changing our thought process is really important. And I used to negative self-talk so bad to myself, like for real, until I really just started meditating, and I really just started trying to understand me. I'm real nosy. Like, people will tell you, oh, you nosy. I'm real nosy, but I like to say it more like I'm very inquisitive. So if there's something I want to know, I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, and the brain has always been something that really intrigued me. Like, what makes people do the things that they do? Even myself. Like, there's been times that I've done things and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Why did you do that? Why would you say that? Like, have you ever just lied real quick? Like, and then you're like, why did I lie about that? That was not even nothing to lie about. I noticed that I did that years ago. Like, it'd be about the dumbest thing, right? And then I was like, why am I lying? I'm a grown woman. Like, I don't have no reason to lie, right? And then it's like, I had to really understand why did I lie that quickly or that fast. And from me processing that, I understood that as a child, I would get really bad beatings if, you know, I did something small, like really small that you shouldn't get beatings for. Like if I went to the refrigerator, or if I don't know, like something stupid, like put stickers on a mirror, right? And so I'd be like, I think that's where the lying had stemmed from. Like I didn't want to get hit. I didn't want to get beaten or whatever the situation. And so I would just hurry up and say, no, it wasn't me. And now, you know, that I consciously understood that, I don't lie anymore. Like there's no necessary reason for that, right? Anywho, where was I at? I get off track. But okay, so yes, I was like, you know, this is a problem. This has impacted your life so much so that you can't work. This has impacted your life so much so that you had, once I realized how much of an impact, like you haven't been leaving the house because you're afraid of what, I don't know. There were just very irrational fears there. You won't drive on the highway. There's just a lot of things that I wouldn't do. And all I was doing was making sure my kids stayed alive. And that does not mean that they have a beneficial life. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really want for much but material possessions, obviously, and outings that I couldn't bring myself to take them on outings. One, I felt I didn't have enough money. 6 children. Okay, say you're taking someone to Sky Zone or whatever situation. You know, 1 child, 2 children. Okay, you can do that. $60, cool. 6 children, you take that, and you're gonna spend like a rough $200 and something. I don't have that kind of money, you know, to take them. So. And then that would make me even more depressed. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would just be so much more depressed. Because I'm like, my kids deserve better. I'm like a shitty mother. My kids deserve better than me, right? I can't just make sure I tell them I love them every day. I can't just make sure that they eat 3 times a day and 2 snacks. I can't just make sure that their clothes are clean. These are basic necessities that anyone can provide. I have to be better. So, of course, they were one of my biggest motivators to want to be better. Like, I want to be better for them. I want them to live a life much, much better than I have ever lived. And without trauma, without pain. I know that it's, you know, life. We all have some type of pain, but not to the extent that I had to endure. Anyhow, that's what brought me to where I'm at. My child's father. Okay, so last year I allowed him to claim my daughter, saying as though he needed to pay down some of the child support. Mind you, I wasn't receiving this because I'm getting help from the state. So that money would have went directly to the state. So there was no benefit of this for me. I was just letting him do this out of the kindness of my heart because I didn't need to claim her. Fast forward, the pandemic happened. And we all know they use our taxes for the stimulus situation. So the first stimulus check, they used my 2019 taxes, which I did file because I worked in 2018. So I got that stimulus. The second stimulus came, they used your 2019 taxes. I didn't file because I didn't work. And that's why I allowed my children's father to file her. The second, you know, the stimulus happened, it didn't come to me. I called him and I asked him, I said, I know they used your taxes. Did you get the stimulus, you know, for our daughter? And whatever the situation, I said, you know, that stimulus is actually supposed to be for the person who takes care of the child. Mind you, he does not take care of my daughter. He pays child support. For 4 children, $300, $320 to be correct. Don't want to mismanage that. So, as you understand, that's really not much for 4 children. Anywho, he gets really upset with me. I wasn't even upset when I called. I'm asking a very plain question, like, you know, are you going to give it to me? That portion, not your portion. Your portion is yours, obviously. But my daughter does not stay with you at all. If you do get my child, it's very rarely that you get them. And they're only there for a day or two and they want to come home, or you have other things you need to do. I'm not upset about this. I've long ago stopped being upset about the things you don't do or he didn't do, whatever the situation. And I don't know where the disconnect comes or what reality he exists in, because he constantly debates me about that he takes care of them. And if he's referring to the child support, yeah, no. Taking care of a child is much more than child support. And then he'll say, like, we'll get into these debates, I'll call them. And he'll say, well, if they come and live with me. And at first, younger me was like, no, you can't take my kids away, because they were my life. Like, they were my purpose. I had to have my kids to live. That's another story. But that was how I was looking at it. I was get up, bent out of shape. He can't take my kids. He can't. And then one day I stopped. One day I grew. One day I said, okay, you can take them. You want them, take them. And I remember, like, this one particular time, this was some years back, he got really upset. He's like, I'm not bringing them back. And I said, okay, you're not bringing them back. And I got up in out of shape. I called my sister. I was like, no, he's not going to bring my kids back. She said, Virginia, my sister Virginia, he's not going to keep them kids. There's too many of them. He likes his freedom. He's not going to keep them kids. Chill out. You got a break. I said, you sure? She said, girl, chill out. I said, okay. I chilled out. I said, okay, keep him. No less than 2 days later was he like on my door talking about here they are. Right. So I know that you are not equipped to actually, take care of them and to handle them 24/7. And that's okay. That's not a problem. I felt that I was very fair before filing for the child support. That's another situation that he gets upset about. He's like, you take me off child support. And I said, before I even filed the child support, mind you, we have 4 children, so it took a while before I even did it. And I asked him, I said, we had 2 girls, 2 boys. I said, break down, help me pay my daycare bill, which was at the time like $500. It was a copay. So the copay was like $500 a month. So that would mean you give me $250, I give the other $250. Boom. All I asked was him to pay half the daycare, to make sure the boys were good, and I'll make sure the girls was good. Meaning I'll make sure I had all the clothes for the girls, the shoes for the girls, you do the boys. And they live with me. I felt that that was more than fair. Oh, and to get them twice a month. 2 weekends out of the month. Those were my stipulations. These were an arrangement that I thought was more than fair. And he told me no, that he wasn't going to do it. And so I said, okay. You leave me no choice. You leave me no choice, because I need help from the government now that you can't help me with these small things. And I have to file child support. And that's where we are now. So the child support only went through about 3 years ago. So he's only been on child support for my 4 children for 3 years. Honestly. And, whatever situation. So I told him at the time of the stimulus, when he told me, instead of continuing arguing with him, at that point I had a really bad day that day. I was preparing to have the surgery for my cancer, getting my thyroid removed, which is coming along, the scar's coming good. But, so I said, you know what? I don't have the energy for this. I'm not doing this with you. He called me some names. He called me a bum. He said, only people want to help you. The people who help you, they think of you as a bum too. And he always knows what to say, to call me, to make me a little bit upset. And it just feeds off how I already had felt. Of course, I'm learning that, I have value. I'm learning that I have something to offer, to give. and whatever situation. Just because I didn't go to college doesn't make me unintelligent. You know, just because of whatever the situation doesn't mean that I don't have worth. So I'm learning these things. I'm growing. I'm healing. And of course, a person who only saw that unevolved side of me, who only knows that unevolved side of me, who believes he still knows me now, when we haven't been together since 2015, that he knows me. So, you know, of course, I got my mind a little bit. I say, you know what, Rafiq, don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. You don't have to give me anything. You have a nice day. Just don't ask me for anything as well. So, fast forward. Tax time this year. I didn't work. So I didn't really make any money. So I wasn't going to file my taxes. But I said, you know what? For stimulus purposes, I'm going to file my taxes. So he calls today and he says, you let somebody claim heaven? I said, somebody. I claimed my daughter. Claimed all of my children. And he's like, you didn't work. I said, okay. I'm not obligated to file my taxes if I didn't work. But I can, because there are credits that I am able to have. And then he says, my tax man laughing at you because that's not right. That ain't true. You're going to be, you're going to be fucked, or things about to get crazy for you because I'm sending it in to audit you. They're going back 5 years. So you're in trouble. I said, that's fine. In the last 5 years, no one's claimed my kids but me or you. We're both parents. I gave you permission to claim my child. I did nothing illegal. I did nothing wrong. And then, of course, he kept wanting to go on about, whatever. I'm, talking to me like I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, like I'm wrong. And I got upset. Right. As soon as I saw his name on as soon as I saw that he was calling me, I got a little like, I don't want to deal with him. Ever since the last conversation, I just distanced myself. Like, you're not welcome. He does not understand boundaries. He does not, well, let me not say he doesn't understand. He doesn't respect boundaries. Not with me anyway. And so, I made it a conscious decision that, I will never keep your children from you. That's not the type of person I am. My daughter has a phone. If you want to talk to them, if you want to pick them up, all you have to do is text me. Oh, I want to pick them up. I'll say, okay. I told him that's the only communication I would have between us, is if you want to talk to your children or you want your children. Because you do not respect me. You do not respect my boundaries. And I no longer want to be a participant in that situation at all. And so, I try to co-parent correctly with you, to give you space I gave you some leeway to be able to come to my home to spend time with them if you needed, or whatever, if you didn't have the money to take them out or whatever situation. I did that. And you just you never respected that, the boundaries in there. And so then you feel that it's okay for you to call me names when you get upset, that it's okay for you to say whatever you want to try to tear me down as a person, and I'm like, no. And then he puts me in a space where I don't like myself. I don't like who I become when I'm around him. I don't like the feeling. Like, I just always have this uneasy feeling with this person. And I don't understand why. I don't know what else I need to learn from it. I just I wish that this person didn't have to be in my life. Right? But we make decisions, and that's fine. But I need to understand, why do I feel so triggered by this person? What is it am I not learning? What is it in myself that I need to focus on, right? What is it bringing up? And that's where I'm at a standstill. I'm like, I'm just like, because I'm so, like, whenever this person is in my space, whenever this person, I get just this yucky feeling. He bothers my spirit, and I don't know why. I will be questioning everything about myself, everything that I know is right, everything that I feel in myself to be correct. I'm questioning. I don't know why. And you know, a trigger is anything that prompts an increase or a return of negative feelings. You know, anxiety, I think, and that's one of the most biggest feelings I get when I see his name on my screen. Anxiety. A ton of it. And it's like, why? So, just want to talk about triggers. I know we all have triggers. Something triggers us, right? And it's like, I know some people want to just stay away from their triggers, right? Because, you know, that is my first response. Just stay away from things that trigger me. But in all reality, we cannot stay away from everything that triggers us. We have to deal with the trigger to understand why we're feeling what we're feeling and to work through that, to overcome whatever it is that is hindering, that is stopping us from progressing, whatever it is that is not allowing us to function at our highest possible, you know, peak or whatever. But yeah, guys, that's just really pretty much what I wanted to talk about, because this nigga triggers me like a lot. And I'm just over it. For real. Like, I know that everything I did was 100. You know, I didn't do anything wrong. I take care of my child. My child lives with me, has lived with me her entire life, has never lived with anyone else. And because last year I was trying to be nice, to extend an olive branch to help him pay his child support down. Because that money ain't come to me. And I'm not the only one on child support. He got like 4 different people on child support. 3 people on child support. That paid off their bills. They saw that money. I didn't see that money. My child support bill's still in like the 6,000s, okay? So, you know, it wasn't for me at all. Nothing about that benefited me. It was legitimately just to help him. As he likes to say, no one likes to help him. I don't want to see him win. I want to see him win. I do. Because if he wins, my kids win. But not at my expense. You're not going to push me down and throw dirt on me so that you can succeed. No, that's not how it works. And then he wants to call me names petty. It's not about me being petty. It's about you not being fair. You know that whatever sacrifices I've made. You have not had to be there to take care of my children. You can walk in and out whenever you please. And that is okay, because that's what you decided to do. But get upset with me for claiming my own children that I take care of, regardless if I made any earned income, I still get my child tax credit. So yeah, it's not about me being petty. It's about fairness. That's all. That's all it is about. There is not one bone in me that wants to hurt him. I don't want to see him fail. I wish he does succeed, because if he succeeds, he can get out my face. You know, if he succeeds, he can help me with these children. There is nothing in me that wants anything more than to see that man succeed in whatever endeavor he has. I don't hate him. I don't understand why he bothers my soul so much, but I don't hate him. I don't want to see anything bad happen to him. I just want him to grow up, to do the right thing. That's it. For real, that is it. Take care of your kids. You know, have a relationship with them. Don't let them dislike you. Because I don't, you know, I make sure that they know who you are. Of course they know who you are. But, you know, I don't bad talk you like that to them. No. Now, have they heard some of our conversations? They have. And, you know, because I'm a very passionate person, right? And I try not to argue in front of the kids, really. But there have been times that I've been upset and they've seen and they know, like, oh, she just talked to my dad, and whatever the situation. I mean, and then just the fact that, yeah, I just need to understand what lesson do I need to learn from this relationship, this dynamic. It's ridiculous. Because every time my soul is just bothered by this person. It is. But anyway, like, I just feel like if there was ever a person that didn't want me to succeed, it would be that person. It would be him. I mean, anything I've tried to do or have done, the feedback I get is just bad from him. Like, it's never, you know, I want to see you win. It's always, you're crazy. It's always, you know, some little nitpick. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. And we're not even around each other often, like, at all. And the only times we do occupy the same space, you can't be positive. You can't just be positive. Like, I don't understand it. I don't. I really don't. Hopefully, by me saying it out loud, I'll get some downloads. I'll get something. Something will come to me. If anybody listens to this, if you guys can decipher through the negativity that I just was talking about, if you have any, you know, experiences or advice or whatever, you know, I'll take that with a grain of salt too. Just to know, like, is it me? You know, I'm always getting that, is it me? Or is it, what is it? And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. And then while I'm still sitting here battling, dealing with the cancer situation, dealing with the insurance, I'm dealing with some insurance situations behind it. Them denying me services. I have to do appeals. This is not something I want to have to deal with, you know, but obviously it's coming up, so something needs to be done. You know, I do the best I can. I have 6 children, 4 with him. And I don't get this type of flack from my other, well, I'm with my youngest child's father. So my daughter's father, he's nothing but helpful. We don't argue. We respect each other. There's no weird vibe. You know, if he can do something for my child, if he has any say in it, he's very active in her life. You know, and he like, Rafiq makes me feel like I'm some type of monster or I'm wrong or whatever the situation. And I'm like, I don't even ask you for anything. Like, I legit only called because you were receiving something that was for my daughter. And like, you didn't even do right. You know? But like, I don't have these types of issues with anyone else. And yep, I got 3 baby fathers. So, and he's the only one I have an issue with. And I don't even really have an issue with, but he likes to have these problems. And then so he's just telling me, you know, I'm making sure you're getting audited or whatever situation. I'm putting in a claim. You're in trouble. And I'm just like, trouble for what? The only people that's claiming my kids is me and you. You're their father. I gave you permission. There's no trouble there. I have all my paperwork. But he still bothered my soul though. And I don't know why. Anyway, guys, this is Regina. And just remember, you're not alone. We all got bullshit to deal with. And you're watching Free from Fear. Thank you for listening to me and all my antics. And I hope you have a great day. And stay safe and stay warm. You're not drive if you don't have to if you're in Maryland. And I know that Texas is under a lot of stress right now. I have some family down there, and you know, it's a mess. And we pray that they get the help that they need, and either you get out of there, or you know, things are fixed. This is insane. How did the mayor just take off like that? Like, dude, how do you say this is their own fault? Like, this is your fault. This is your city. This is your town. People are crazy. Stay safe, guys. Thank you. And just remember, you're not alone.